Welcome to the 2020 West Coast Conference End of Year Awards Show. I'm your host, Ezra Broder. We'd normally celebrate the accomplishments of our student athletes in person at our awards banquet, but you're likely watching this from home. The coronavirus pandemic has greatly impacted our lives over the last few months. We hope you and your loved ones are in good health. We want to look back on the positives of the 2019-20 season in the West Coast Conference. BYU men's cross country took home the first national championship in the Wcc since 2006. Along with the Cougar runners, Gonzaga men's basketball and Pepperdine men's golf were ranked #1 in the country, as were Pepperdine tennis player Ashley Leahy and Waves golfer Sahith Theegala, who swept all 3 National Player of the Year awards. And just a few days before college sports came to a halt, Portland women's hoops completed a worst-to-first turnaround by winning the WCC tournament title. The conference was projected to send 2 women's teams and 3 men's teams to the NCAA tournament. We have a bunch of hardware to hand out, but first, a few words from WCC Commissioner Gloria Nevarez.
Hello everyone, and thank you for being a part of our awards show as we celebrate the best and brightest from the West Coast Conference during the 2019-20 academic year. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted us all in ways we could never imagined. Followed by the murder of George Floyd, our conversations have been about social justice, surviving a global pandemic, and the future of college sports. We had planned to host our awards show banquet in Santa Cruz in June as our institutions came together to reflect on all the great achievements from the year. While we didn't have a chance to gather in person this year, we certainly don't want to take away the opportunity to celebrate and recognize the many unforgettable moments and outstanding performances that made 2019-20 a historically successful year in the WCC. A national championship for BYU men's cross country, #1 rankings in men's basketball, women's tennis, and men's golf, and no hitters in baseball and softball were some of the many highlights in a year that was cut short so abruptly this spring. We had solidified a memorable March with another year of multiple NCAA tournament bids for both men's and women's basketball. While the NCAA tournament experience was taken away, the achievements, rankings, and unforgettable performances during the regular season and WCC tournament stand tall to this day. The 2020-21 academic year is a little more than a month away, and we understand there are more questions than answers right now. We continue to work on our best path moving forward with the health and safety of our student athletes, coaches, and administrators as the top priority in all of our decisions. It is important that we continue to listen to our health officials and take proper precautions to stay healthy and safe during these uncharted times. It is also important that we continue to be allies to one another and educate ourselves on ways we can make our institutions and league welcoming, inclusive, and safe. We will get through this, and we will get through this together. While the year never fully finished, our programs achieved so much, and we expected to have this opportunity to reflect, recognize, and celebrate the many great performances and outstanding individuals that made 2019-20 a special year in the WCC.
Thank you, Gloria. Without further ado, let's get started with the awards. It's time to announce the WCC Postgraduate Scholarship winners. This year's female winner has a 3.95 cumulative GPA in sports medicine and plans to pursue a career as a physical therapist at USC. On the court, she's a 2-time All-Conference first-team selection, and as a junior, led the Waves to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 7 years. Congratulations to this year's WCC Female Postgraduate Scholarship winner, Pepperdine's Hannah Frawling. She talks with our Drew Jones.
You were a busy student. I mean, you're finishing school with a cumulative 3.9 GPA, 4-year member of the WCC Commissioner's Honor Roll, member of the Dean's List. How were you able to balance now a 2-sport athlete and being a science major?
I mean, it's kind of just one day at a time. You just kind of do the next thing that's required of you. It's not easy, but there's just so many resources that are there, and all of the professors that I had were so flexible if I was traveling and making up assignments and labs and tests and quizzes and all of that. So I just felt really supported by everyone around me, so I think that definitely helped. But had to stay really organized and had to manage my time really well and just decide, if I only had a certain amount of time, what things I actually needed to do and what things I could probably get away with not doing. But I've always kind of loved school, and so and especially once I got into those classes that were more like my major classes that I really, really loved to do, studying didn't really feel like that bad of a thing because I really enjoyed learning about a lot of it.
And on top of being exceptional academically, you were also a leader, participating in the Wcc Leadership Summit, joining our executive council meetings last year, participating on the Waves Leadership Council. So who inspired you to be a leader?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think a lot of like the student athletes that were older than me inspired me a lot, because when you come in as a freshman, you see all these older athletes and you're like, how in the world are they doing all of this? And so there were so many different athletes that were older than me, especially female athletes that I saw doing really great things, that were, excelling in their sport, and they were doing great in the classroom, and they were leaders. And I was like, what in the world? How are they doing that? And just seeing them and them being able to do that made me want to do it too. So yeah, I was always pushed by like coaches and different people on staff to be a leader, especially whenever I didn't really see myself as a leader. So I'm just really grateful for all of their influences in my life.
And you're continuing your studies. Congratulations on getting into USC and their Doctor of Physical Therapy program. So what drew you to become or want to become a physical therapist?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been super drawn to like medicine world, and like I watched Grey's Anatomy growing up, and I was like, yeah, I gotta be a surgeon. And as I kind of learned more and just figured out what I was actually really interested in, I majored in sports medicine, which is like my two favorite things is sports and medicine. So just the classes that I was getting to take and everything that I was really passionate about and that like I was really good at just kind of lined up with physical therapy. And being an athlete, I've like been through it where you've been injured, you've had to sit out, you've had to like wait for the results of an x-ray that like you might be out for months, you might be okay. And so I've like gotten an inside look at it, and I just think physical therapy really lines up like my passions and my gifts and just what I really want to be doing and what I'm really good at. So I'm really excited to start the program in the fall and become a physical therapist.
Well, you definitely have a bright future ahead. Thank you so much for joining us, Hannah. Congratulations on everything and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
This year's male postgraduate scholarship winner carried a perfect 4.0 cumulative GPA while earning a bachelor's degree in computer science and a master's degree in engineering management. He graduated as the valedictorian of Pacific School of Engineering and Computer Science and plans to pursue a PhD in computer science after working for a year or two at Hewlett-Packard. On the links, he walked on to the Tigers golf team and competed in 16 events over the last 2 seasons. Congratulations to this year's WCC Male Postgraduate Scholarship winner, Pacific's Bo Forrest. Drew caught up with Bo.
So you're a 4-year Powell Scholar at Pacific. You graduated with a 4.0 GPA, having a 4.0 all your 4 years. You're valedictorian in the engineering school. So what has inspired you to be exceptional academically?
Well, I think it was just the way I was raised. My mom always taught me to work hard. She never really imposed expectations on me, but she taught me to just to give everything that I could. And so that's what I've always tried to do in academics and athletics and everything that I do.
You finished not only with a bachelor's, but a master's degree while also being a student athlete. So how did you do that in 4 years?
Well, so the School of Engineering at Pacific has a blended program where you can concurrently pursue your bachelor's and master's degree. And it's a really good program. You stay as an undergraduate student, so you have all the advantages of that. I mean, obviously, didn't have to change anything about eligibility, was able to keep scholarships and everything. So that was a good deal. And it's a 5-year program, but I did have some credits coming in from high school from AP tests and stuff. So it was busy every semester, but I was able to get it done in 4 years. So yeah, I'm just really happy that I was able to finish it in 4 years. It was, at times it was tricky because busy schedules, and trying to fit it in with practice is tough sometimes, but it all worked out.
And you weren't just a student, just an athlete, you also are very committed to community service, earning Pacific's Dan Malley's Community Service Award, logging over 70 hours. What motivates you to give back to your community?
Well, I think it's kind of a responsibility. Just the opportunities that I've been given, and the things I've been able to do. I'm incredibly grateful for that, and I have the opportunity to help the community and give back, and I really enjoy the opportunity to do that. And community service and going out in the community and doing those things, it kind of helps you realize really what is important, and it's not all those little things. It's about kind of coming together as a community and just doing your part to help others.
Our Female Sportsmanship Award winner is being recognized by her peers after a tremendous display of self-sacrifice and support for a teammate. Congratulations to this year's Female Sportsmanship Award winner from the University of San Diego, goalkeeper Amber Michael. Drew catches up with Amber.
So your coach shared with us a story from your senior day that you said, hey, maybe you should start the other senior goalkeeper today. And they said about you, Amber's always asks what she gives rather than what she can get. So what inspired you to be selfless in that moment?
I don't know if it's inspiration to be selfless or more of kind of the right thing to do. I live by, I'm a Christian, I believe in God, and I try to follow that aspect of serving others before myself. And I think that it's more than just a game. Like, obviously I love to compete, I love to win, but at the end of the day, when the game's over, you have your team, you have your family, you have people that care about you. That's more than just a soccer game.
And what would you say you learned at San Diego that you were able to take with you to Iceland and playing professionally?
Yeah, definitely commitment and time management. It's a little bit different with balancing a college sport with school and soccer. Here we have a little bit more freedom, but I think just always being focused, always making sure I'm taking care of my body and making sure I have no injuries. I think that can be lost in the shuffle of being in a new place, somewhere fun, and not always focused on the soccer aspect. So I definitely gained the focus from USD. But I think at the end of the day, USD prepared me to compete at a high level, especially the WCC conference. We have some amazing teams and players that have played in that conference and that are still playing in the conference. And so kind of that has prepared me to compete and get ready for game time up here in Poker, Iceland.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. Congratulations on all your accomplishments. And we wish you luck in Iceland and all your future soccer success.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Our Male Sportsmanship Award winner is being recognized by his peers after displaying a positive attitude in the face of adversity. Congratulations to this year's Male Sportsmanship Award winner from Pepperdine University, men's tennis player Tim Zeit Vogel. Drew talks with Tim.
So I'm curious about your experience on SAC as well as being the star that represented Pepperdine. I mean, you're in Germany right now. It's a 9-hour difference. You still participated in the executive council meetings. So what in your life has inspired you to be a leader?
I mean, to be honest, it's a lifelong journey. I started leading some teams in my young age, and I just like to get some new experiences in, and also participate in a great environment as the college in America is. And that's why I also dedicate some long nights here in Germany to participate in meetings. It's just good to let other people know how dedicated they are in these difficult times, and it's just great to make such interesting experiences.
During this season, you played in a pretty hostile environment in Oklahoma, and I'm curious, where did you learn how to overcome adversity?
It's as I said, a lifelong journey, and I love tennis so much. So it's more that everyone is in the same environment, and I just enjoy being out there battling on a fair ground and respect each other. because that's the most important thing. Because at the end, you play tennis, you compete pretty hard, but at the end, it's a lesson for life, and that's what I always remember myself. Even if some fans are cheering against you, or some line calls are made in the different way as you want to have them, but at the end, it's just like another great opportunity to grow as a person and to grow as a tennis player.
So you say a lesson for life. Now you're also a Pepperdine scholar athlete, achieving a 4.0 in mathematics. So do you think that tennis has motivated you to excel off the field as well?
100%. It's like you learn from a young age to be disciplined, to keep working for your goal, your ultimate goal, whatever it is. And it's no matter if you're on the court, if you're in the gym or in the classroom, you try to achieve excellence, and that's what I also try to achieve in the classroom with mathematics. And it's just challenging yourself day in, day out, and that's what I try to do every day.
And do you have a favorite memory within your team?
There's so many. I mean, traveling with the guys is always fun, and I would actually say Oklahoma was a remarkable memory, because we were there. One of our seniors, Adrian Ertzbach, was former Sooner, and so it was playing for him, playing against his old team, and everything was set up for a good victory there, and we made it at the end.
The hashtag WCC Represent Award recipient was the Health and Wellness co-chair of Gonzaga's Student Athlete Advisory Committee, but faced her own health battle with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. She insisted on continuing her work with SAC while fighting cancer. Congratulations to this year's hashtag WCC Represent Award winner from Gonzaga University, tennis player Katy Day. Let's toss it back to Drew, who's with Katy.
Katy, you're a young athlete, and you were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma earlier this year. So what was it like for you to see not only your teammates, but other student athletes, the entire athletic department, even your school, supporting you?
It was, like, honestly, there's no words to really describe it. Like I said before, like everything was a surprise. Like, I would just look on social media and there was something new that I didn't even know about, like the basketball team putting the green laces on their shoes. I had no idea about that. Or we had, like, actually I can just show you, like, these wristbands that they created, like with my name on it, and I didn't know about that either. They created t-shirts for me, didn't know about that. Like, everything was just a surprise, which it was crazy to me. Like, and still to this day, I'm like speechless about everything, because I literally was not expecting any of it. It's just crazy to see an athletic community and a school that is just so supportive of each other, because you don't see that everywhere. So it was really cool.
Now I want to share something with you that you actually posted on Instagram, and I thought personally that it's a testament to the strength that student athletes have and the strength that you have. So you said, "Yes, I'm scared, but I'm a freaking D1 athlete, and if I can wake up at 6 a.m. every day and swim in a pool once a week, feeling like I'm about to drown, I think I can handle a little bit of cancer inside my body." So what does KD Strong mean to you?
Oh my gosh, I feel like it means so many things. I have to just give a shout out to my coaches and my team, because I honestly, if I wasn't a student athlete and I was diagnosed with cancer, it would be a whole other experience. I probably wouldn't have the same attitude. I don't even know how I would feel. I probably would be a lot more negative, because I wouldn't have had that experience of pushing myself every day and waking up at 6 a.m. to go swim in a pool and feeling like I'm gonna drown, which they're hard workouts. I'm just gonna be honest, those workouts are probably harder than going through cancer treatment. I'm just gonna be honest. So yeah, I would just say that I feel like KD Strong means so many things, just being positive, pushing yourself every day, knowing that you never know what the next day is going to bring you. I never would have expected I was going to get diagnosed with cancer at 22. I don't know. It's a crazy thing that you never know what life's going to throw at you, and you just have to be ready for whatever the next day is going to bring. And be able to not take anything for granted. I feel like a lot of us take things for granted, and when something like this happens, you kind of have to just be like, okay, like I have cancer, like I know it's a good prognosis, I'll be okay. Like I just want to like be able to be a positive influence for the people around me and not create this thing where people feel bad for me, because that's not productive. Like that's just like, I find that to be kind of ridiculous to be able to just be like, I have cancer, feel bad for me. Like that's not a good way to go about things. And I feel like that having a positive attitude will take you far in life, and being able to use whatever situation you get put in and being able to be a positive impact to other people and creating a way to bring people together instead of tear people down is just a great way to live your life. And yeah, that's what I think Katy Strong means.
Get to the final awards of the show. We want to recognize the countless hours our student athletes devoted to helping those in need in their communities this year. The Mike Gillerin WCC Female Scholar Athlete of the Year has a 3.68 cumulative GPA while earning her master's in accounting. A three-time All-American and Senior Class Award finalist, she led her volleyball team to 3 WCC titles and an NCAA Final Four appearance. Congratulations to the Mike Gillerin WCC Female Scholar Athlete of the Year from Brigham Young University, Mary Lake. Drew talks with Mary.
So you have an extensive list of accolades: all WCC freshman team, all WCC first team, multiple All-American honors, you're the Diggs leader at BYU. Do you have a favorite memory of playing volleyball at BYU?
There are a lot of favorite memories. I think one of my favorite games was the 2018 season when we played Utah in the NCAA tournament. And I just remember it was like an hour and a half before the game and we were starting pregame things, and we looked out the window and there was a line that went like a half a mile down the Smithfield house, and it was probably the biggest and fastest fill-up we've ever had, and it was the craziest environment to play in. So I think that's my favorite memory of playing at BYU.
So what drew you to accounting?
I was actually doing another major when I took my first accounting class, and it was required for that major. And I took accounting and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm actually good at this and I like it. And people talk about how hard it is. And so I kind of was like, why wouldn't I do accounting? And so after that first class, I took another couple prerequisites, and my professors were incredible. And that's probably the biggest part that I loved about accounting, was how supportive and awesome the professors are, because they're really high-ranked program and they have to have amazing professors to do that. And that was what drew me into accounting.
And do you have a message for any incoming freshmen coming into BYU? What should they do to maybe even follow in your footsteps?
I think one of the biggest things that I learned is how going into practice every day, being really humble and teachable and taking every single day as a chance to get better, it just snowballed my progress. And I know I could have done more if I had taken a taste of my own medicine. Just how important it is to treat every day really importantly, if that makes sense. And every rep that you're getting, every practice that you're in, you're getting better, and to not be focused on what you can't do now, but just in the long term, in the long run, you will improve. And that's just such an awesome thing that I saw from my freshman to my senior year.
This year's Male Scholar Athlete of the Year carries a 3.69 cumulative GPA while earning his bachelor's degree in economics. On the pitch, he was named a first-team All-American, the first time in program history, and was selected in the 4th round of the Major League Soccer Super Draft. In the classroom, he was named a first-team Scholar All-American. Congratulations to the Mike Gillerin WCC Male Scholar Athlete of the Year from St. Mary's College, Anders Engebretsen. Let's go back to Drew, who's with Anders.
So I first wanted to get started with your experience at St. Mary's. I mean, the last 2 seasons were incredible. This year going undefeated in conference, last year pretty much going undefeated technically throughout the whole season. What made the team so special?
I think already from my freshman year, you could see that the team had a lot of potential, and we had a young core already from the start. So we got a lot of time to develop together and build chemistry. And even though we were a bit hit and miss the first 2 seasons, we could like sense that we were going the right direction. And then the last 2 seasons we really flourished at the same time, which made it very, very good to play in that team. So yeah, it was a great experience to play for St. Mary's.
What kind of legacy do you think that you and your teammates were able to leave at St. Mary's and within the program?
So our coach asked us this a lot, like what we want our legacy to be, and I hope it built like a fundament for for younger players to come in and build like a winning mentality. And we all wanted to achieve the same thing, so we were on the same page. We pushed each other and focused on soccer. Hopefully they can build and improve on that, so the St. Mary's legacy can keep going in the right direction.
And even off the field, you were also named All-American academically. So what motivated you to not only be a good student, but to be an exceptional student off the field?
It's just something I've always been concerned about and something I care about. So it's partly the reason I went to the States was because it's hard to combine soccer and studies in Norway. So I didn't want to pick one. That was just a great chance for me to not have to take that choice. So yeah, other than that, it's partly competitive and just curiosity. I like to discover new things. So Moraga is a quiet place and not much distraction, so you get to focus on both soccer and school without too much noise and distractions.
As we conclude this year's show, we leave you with a look back at some of the most memorable moments of the 2019-20 season in the West Coast Conference. Thank you for watching, and we hope to be back on the playing fields in a few short months.
Versus 2. Anderson makes another move, takes a shot, and scores!
Can he do something with it here? Slips past the defense, off the post, off his head and in!
Great save there from Mary Lake. Nicola has a touch in the box with the left foot, and she scores! And Cantor is on fire right now.
Serves it back in, ball takes a bounce, the header, and the winner! Portland wins it in overtime!
Cross score! Great pass!
Pause, pulls up, fades away! Yes, it! Ground ball to second. Up with it, Mydron. And a no-hitter for Jake Miller!
Zalipia lobs it for Scott, throws it down!
Cameron Edwards right by it, dunks it! On top of Kispert, my goodness!
And the BYU Cougars are undefeated. The Cougars are your outright West Coast Conference champions. Here's Rodriguez on Sellius. Oh!
Are you kidding me?
To Williams, up, and
Whoa! Incredible!
Is the
Cougars, who are the West Coast Conference team champions.
Saheth Tagala, Pepperdine University.
Cross for the win!
The San Diego Toreros are your West Coast Conference champions.
Jordan Ford for the win! Got it!
Got to shoot it to tie it.
Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh!
The Gales have gone wild, and it's back-to-back WCC titles.
I think it's safe to say that BYU just won their first national title.
6'5" Andrews through the deep and scores! This is March.